accidentally told a man I loved him, Tyler.
Yeah, that's okay, though.
Yeah, it is.
That's all right.
But I want to get deeper into this. I've told you this story, but I will now tell the Haitian army. I was at the gym, and here's the deal. I'm into the meditation. I'm into the yoga. I'm into all that bullshit that isn't real. Are you familiar with my work, Tyler?
I am. I'm very familiar with your work. You put in all this time into something that just doesn't exist, Ryan.
I know, but it's if you really want to be a good person, you have to do all the things that a fake good person would do.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I'm really committed to the deal. So I do feel an overwhelming love for people, which I know sounds hokey, but you and I have talked. I feel love for people who have done despicable things. I don't like your actions, but I still love you as a human being. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's the awareness or the knowledge that love is a choice, just like anything else.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So I was speaking to a man in the gym, and he was telling me that he was moving to Minnesota. And I said to him, "You're leaving Miami and you're going to Minnesota."
To Minnesota.
I don't think that anybody has ever sold a plane ticket going from here to there in their lives. Why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah.
And he told me my wife got a great job, and unfortunately, I'm going with her. And
This is an opportunity to kill two birds with one stone. No longer married, and you get to stay in Miami.
wow, you are deeply affected on a fundamental level, Tyler.
Dude, it's so dark.
And I said to him, the things that we'll do for the people that we love. And we had a real nice moment together. And he said, "Yep, you're absolutely right about that, man." So he reached out to shake my hand because it could be the last time that I ever see this guy. I mean, we only saw each other in passing. And without thinking, I said, "Love you, bro." It just came out, and I didn't even mean it. I wasn't trying to tell this guy that I loved him. It just because of what we were talking about, it came out.
Yeah, it's a saying now where it's like, it just as any goodbye, it's love you.
Hey, and I do tell all the people that I am close to or even vaguely close to that I love them, because you and I have lost a brother and a sister in catastrophic ways.
Mhm.
And it is really enforced in me, hey, if you love somebody, tell them. I may do it to a fault if that's possible.
Sure. Now, just for clarification, because I think this matters, did you say love you, bro, or did you say I love you, bro? Like, did you say the I in the beginning, or did you just say love you, bro?
Yeah, what happened was I was just going to say goodbye to him just in the regular way. Like, all right, man, see you later. But I was like, love you. And it was just, I stopped right there, and it was very awkward. He heard it. I heard it. And it was just an odd moment.
Well, and love ya, I think the most awkward part of that is your need to stop yourself. I think if you would have just said love ya and moved on, maybe he would have felt a little uncomfortable. But when you stop in the middle of it, you're like, as if you've just done something wrong.
You caught me loving you, you piece of shit. Now you got to die. Now here's the reason why I bring it up, because you already know this story, Tyler. I did it again. I did it yesterday.
To the same guy?
Nope. Totally different guy.
Oh, okay.
I'm sitting at the bar at the end of the night. I've already closed up. I'm waiting to go. And I probably shouldn't be saying this because a lot of the cooks in the back listen to this damn show. But one of the new guys comes out. He's like, "All right, man, see you later." I'm like, "Love you." It just popped out. Like, I wasn't even thinking. And now I got to go see this guy again. And I got to kill him too.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm just kidding. You killed me.
You're just leaving a trail of bodies in your wake. Your emotional wake is filled with people who have experienced emotion from you.
That's
and
it.
then subsequently were murdered.
They're going to get black bagged because I just can't have it, man. If I had one of those Men in Black flashy things, I wouldn't have to do this. But show me your jugular.
I was going to say, you'd be so irresponsible with that thing.
When it comes to stabbing you in the throat, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Tyler.
And we are those guys you hate.
That's kind of gay.
Those guys you hate.
Salutations, my Haitians, and welcome to the show that offers discreet house cleaning services. Wink, wink. To my left, a man who's been known to chupa a pinga, my man Tyler Menendez. Tyler, how you been being, brother?
If you don't know what that means, go ask your parents.
Yeah, they love it. Let's just say that he's owned a cockatoo and he hates birds. Am I right, Tyler?
Well, you're not allowed to own them. They outlaw that.
You let them own you. I like that. On today's show, school shootings. Hilarious? Probably not.
Definitely not. And later on today's show, I am filled to the brim with emotion, and I am going to unleash it on all of you. And by all of you, I mean Ryan.
I would love to tell you that sounds vaguely gay, but that sounds directly gay. We have gotten off to a very gay start, and I love it. Tyler,
I'm here for it.
Somebody deserves a big, old, fat congratulations. Do you know who it is?
I do not.
It is us, Tyler.
Really?
Oh, congratulations!
And here's why, Tyler, because much like we talked about on the pregame, if you guys haven't listened to the pregame, tell them what the pregame is, Tyler.
Well, the pregame is what we tack on to the end of our shows 30 seconds after the show is done. It's where Ryan and I go in, no setup. We just go in and just bullshit. And this week, on this episode, Ryan really threw me through a loop. He did a great job.
Well, and the purpose of the pregame is because when you come in here, you're a little cold. It's like anything else. You want to warm up a little bit, get your brain a little gooey, get it kind of rolling in the right direction.
For sure. You want to get into that flow.
Sure.
Almost.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Much like playing basketball, they don't just walk out there and start shooting, they warm up.
Mm-hmm.
And not comparing ourselves to LeBron James or whatever.
No, you already did it.
Yeah, but
LeBron,
we are.
Michael Jordan.
Sprite, if you need anything, call us. So this week, we took something from the show and we used it successfully in our personal lives, and I was super proud of us. Do you know that saying, you really screwed the pooch on this one?
Yes.
We decided a while ago to change it, and this week we finally did it. You messed something up in the kitchen, and I said, Tyler, you really fucked the dog on this one. You agreed with me, and we went on about our business, and I found myself reveling in it.
It really hit home because not only did we say it in a way where it wasn't a setup for a joke, it was just us saying you really screwed the pooch. Man, you really fucked the dog on that one.
The dog on this one, Tyler.
Yep.
We rolled through it, and we're finally doing what we said it was that we were going to do,
It's beautiful.
and we deserve that. Congratulations.
Wow, congratulations!
And that makes me happy. When I'm happy, I like to do the depression index, and it goes like this. No one cares. What the You don't know depression what to index
do.
is
The
a
world
machine
has all
that I built
given up
with
on
my
you.
paws
Your
very
only
poorly,
choice
and we crank it up to let you know where we're at on our mental health journey this week. Tyler, did you take your antidepressants this week, brother?
Ryan, I have been on a down week this week. So this week I was at 5 days, Ryan.
5 days.
Where I took my medication.
All right, well, I don't know that you deserve the utmost reward, but I am going to give you one pill shake. And the reason we do this is to encourage people, if you're on psychotropic medicine, please stay constant with it. It's the only way that it'll work.
Stay on schedule.
Thank
Again,
you.
not saying go out and be on medicine. If you are on medicine, please take care of yourself.
Take care of society by taking care of yourself.
Well said.
Thank you.
Ryan, for this week's Depression Index, my theme is recklessness. Recklessness, when I think of the word recklessness, my brain immediately goes to like a Michael Bay movie where they're just explosions.
Sure.
It's like, oh, he's being reckless.
Sure, doves come flying out of nowhere and then they start exploding one by one.
Those poor birds.
Yeah, that's what they get for being about peace. Now they're just in pieces.
Damn it, you're on fire today.
How about that?
Too bad it's all around murder and mutilation.
Yep. I'm trying to figure out how to bring Randy Johnson into this for blowing up birds. But let's continue.
Oh, wow. Topical.
Yeah.
So this week it's recklessness. And I say recklessness because we so often talk about the lows. We so often talk about disassociating while you're feeling really down and you forget things and you don't take care of your responsibilities. But what about the other side of that? What happens when you're feeling really excited? What happens when you have all this energy running through you and you just feel good? It's like a high that you're on.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It feels like drugs. It feels
Absolutely.
like drugs and you can't concentrate on anything. We talk about this all the time. I suffer at this point in my life from mania more than I suffer from depression. And I will tell you, it wears you the out. Much like depression, it eats your
exhausting.
energy, brother.
It's exhausting.
I
And
agree.
More importantly, other than it just sapping your energy, is you make decisions that you wouldn't normally make. And I embarrassed myself a little bit on Friday while we were working because I got a little liberal, I'll say, with the rules and behaved in a way that was not immoral, but unprofessional. And it is a learning experience, and I'm happy that I now have it under my belt.
Are we professional?
But I think that I'm more professional than that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a certain level of professionalism to every job. The job that we work, it's like the bare minimum.
Sure.
and I fell far below that this week, and I made some poor decisions. But the one lesson I'm taking away from this is not beating myself up. I keep reminding myself, I love you, I love you, I love you, and we just grow from this.
And even if you did, how would it help? How would it help? You versus yourself is kind of the problem. And when I don't mean you, I mean everybody
for sure
who can hear the sound of my voice.
Well, the good thing is about me versus me is I always come out on top. So, Ryan.
Until my triceps get tired. Then I got to power bottom that thing. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm ruining this. Please continue.
Of course, we're all here talking about mental health, and Ryan goes straight to dicks.
Bobby.
So, Ryan, this week, I'm going to go ahead and say, without being too hard on myself, I am at a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, nasty.
Nasty.
Wait a minute. How could you do that with your hands on camera if you're supposed to be
Didn't spin it with my hands, baby.
Oh, my God. Is that why your dick is so mutilated? No, it's not. Okay.
Geez, you show somebody a thing in confidence with 10 other people and they just go around telling everybody.
It's just the wood chippers are just sexy. What do you want me to do? Gay it up. Now, Tyler, what I've been doing on my half of the depression index before I tell you how my week has gone, or sometimes I don't, most times I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I have been given my quotes. I have been saving quotes in a notes app on my phone like a deranged squirrel, storing them away for a winter that may never come. Well, guess what? Winter's here, bitch. And I'm using them. So I'm going to give you my quote this week, and I'm going to ask you what it means to you.
So you're going to give us some nuts is what you're saying.
I'm about to nut right in your ear, Tyler. What does this quote mean to you that I wrote myself because I'm the new Winston Churchill? Remember what you know, Tyler. What does that quote say to you? Remember what you know.
I mean, without trying to be too deep, it is pretty thought-provoking. Remember what you know, meaning the things that you know to be true, don't forget those things.
Right. Well, and here's the spirit in which I mean them. Remember what you know. I spend so much time meditating. I spend so much time cataloging my thoughts and where did I go wrong and all of these different things, trying to learn different behaviors for when I hit those trouble spots. This is how I am going to start handling them because I haven't been happy with the way that I've done it in the past.
Sure.
Now, the problem is when you reach some of these stressful situations, much like what you're talking about with your manic behavior on Friday or whatever, it's so easy to say, hey, I know that I've learned that this isn't how I'm doing it, but this time is different. This time, it's more extreme. This time, I can handle it the way that I used to because it's just different than all the other times. Mm-hmm. Those are the times that you need to remember what you know. Do you know what to do when you don't know what to do? Mm-hmm. It's the awareness to come back to all of your training. It's the sense of, hey, right now seems horrible. What have I been practicing for? Mm-hmm. And that's what I hope that when you guys run into it, I hope that when I run into it, which will happen 100 times a day, where you run into those same problems, hey, we've been training for this. Now is the time for me to remember what I know. Mm-hmm. So it's not always successful, but we're trying to just get better every day. I hope that wasn't too bloviating. This week, I am at a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
Squirt.
I mean, it is what it is, man. Like, life isn't perfect, and I'm just learning to roll with it. I mean, that's it. I keep hoping for the day that I wake up and everything is exactly the way I wanted it. That day's not coming, man.
Nope.
I'd become okay with that. All right, Tyler. I need for you to put your trust in me, and I need for you to get in this ambulance, Tyler. I need you to get into this ambulance because we're going to Florida, Tyler. We're in Florida.
Yeah.
Because
we don't have to go far.
The Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooter pleads guilty on all counts. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. It happened not too far from us.
Nicholas Cruz.
That's right.
That's right. Shot 17 people and wounded 17 other people at a high school. Unfortunately, in an incident that is not all too uncommon, Tyler.
Okay, I would say not that it's not uncommon. I would say it's common, man. It's
relatively speaking. Sure.
Nobody else
common.
Nobody else in the world deals with this kind of stuff.
Why do you think that is?
Actually, we love our guns. We really love our guns.
Is it that the reason I'm bringing it up, and this happened, I would say maybe about 2 miles away from a house that I've lived in. Mm-hmm. So to say that this hit us personally is an understatement.
Sure. It's certainly when something happens, like the Las Vegas shooting, when that guy started unloading automatic weapons on the crowd of people, truly devastating no matter how you look at it. For some, I mean, I guess it's obvious when it happens so close to you, there is that thought of, oh my God, that could have been me.
It's the tribalism that is instilled in our human nature, for better or worse.
For
the
sure.
closer it is to you, the more you can put yourself in that position.
Absolutely. That's why it's so easy to not acknowledge things, these horrible, horrible things that are happening around the world in other countries. It's like, oh, that doesn't happen here, you know?
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Now, my question here is, and this is a bigger idea, I guess, but why are there more school shooters now than there ever have been? I know you say that it's because of how available guns are, and I definitely agree with that.
Well, there was a two-parter to that answer,
Okay.
so forgive me. I think also, best guess, it's our need for fame. It is our need to be in the spotlight. And these people, like, what's his name? The guy that we even did a YouTube video on, the
Elliot Rodger, the virgin killer.
You fall into this pit, and oh my God, it's happened to us so many times where you fall into this pit and start believing your own lies, your own bullshit.
Illusions that you are looking at the world through. You start telling yourself stories that become your reality.
Absolutely. And that's the way reality works.
Okay, so you have availability of guns. You have, what was the second one you just said?
Need for fame.
Need for fame, because in this world where everybody's supposed to be extraordinary, if you can't be extraordinary, then maybe you could be extraordinary at being the worst. And also, this is my own personal take. Is there a growing discontentment across, let's just say the country, because that's what we're talking about right now.
Okay.
Is there a growing discontentment amongst youths as opposed to in the 60s, as in the 50s?
Absolutely.
Why?
I mean, with the rise of social media and the way that we have slowly, not so slowly, distance ourselves from each other, the way that we interact with one another is totally different. And I think we are just now, not saying that school shootings are a direct result of it, but I think we are just beginning to see the truly negative effects that this has on the human brain.
You're saying social media.
And in general, technology as a whole. We talked about it 1,000 times, how quickly technology is evolving, and our brains are not meant to evolve that fast.
Absolutely. And I believe that the school shootings are a confluence of things. I don't think that you could just say it's 1, 2, and 3.
Agreed.
And I don't think that you are.
Agreed.
I just find it to be so interesting to try to get down to what is happening here. And I also believe that there is an element of, I was discussing this with somebody last night, in the 50s, in the 60s. I wasn't alive, contrary to popular belief.
What?
I do believe that there was this element of the idea of putting somebody else ahead of you was not a crazy thing. And I believe that right now it is me, me, me. And I do, again, believe that has a lot to do with our discontentment.
Yeah.
Tyler, what I want to do really quickly is this kid, Nicholas Cruz. I don't even know if we can use this on the show. This kid, Nicholas Cruz, was convicted. He pled guilty to all the counts, and they have video of him addressing the court. And I would just like to play a minute for you. We may even edit this out. I don't know if it'll be interesting at all. I think the idea of you hearing from this guy, at least for me, was interesting.
Okay.
And I have to live with it every day. And that if I were to get a second chance, I will do everything in my power to try to help others. And I am doing this for you, and I do not care if you do not believe me. And I love you, and I know you don't believe me, but I have to live with this every day. And it brings me nightmares, and I can't live with myself sometimes, but I try to push through because I know that's what you guys would want me to do. I hate drugs, and I believe this country would do better if everyone would stop smoking marijuana and doing all these drugs and causing racism and violence out in the streets. I'm sorry, and I can't even watch TV anymore. And I'm trying my best to maintain my composure, and I just want you to know I'm really sorry. And I hope you give me a chance to try to help others. If I believe it's your decision to decide where I go,
and I
whether I live or
don't
die.
even want
Not the
to
jury's.
make
I
fun of
believe it's
that,
your
of course,
decision.
because
No.
and we joke about everything, and I will find some entertainment here. But my thought there while listening to that, and this is something that we've talked about a million times. When you find these people who abuse others, if you go back far enough, very often these people are the victims. Now, that does not give you the okay to gun down children.
Of course.
But where do you draw the line? Like when Charles Manson was a kid, he went to a boys' school and was forced to eat shit
Yeah.
and was beaten and raped. at one point, man, it's just such a cloudy thing to try to pull apart on how did this happen.
Well, I think when it comes to the understanding of how it happened, that is obviously the first place you want to go. What was their childhood like? But in terms of no matter what your past was, and I know this isn't what you're saying, but no matter what you've been through, there is no excuse for creating for such a tragedy.
Well, and there is what you and I talk about. It is your responsibility to hold your sanity together every way possible for the good of the community, for the good of yourself.
Yeah,
man. I don't know what else I could say. So apparently, school shootings, America. Let's get the fuck out of America, Tyler. Give me an international hello and save my fucking life, Tyler.
Well, that's wildly unfortunate,
Get
Ryan.
me out of here.
That's so unfortunate.
That quiet kid in third period has just been eyeing me. I wish I hadn't punched him in the dick yesterday.
I was going to
Tyler.
say, you got to give him candy every time you go into school. That way, when he murders everybody, he leaves you alone.
Pet him on the head. You look great today. Your trench coat. Mwah.
That bulge in your pants, looking wonderful.
God. Why is it on the side?
Well, Ryan, I know you want to leave America on vacation, but unfortunately for this international hello, we're going to Puerto Rico. Not Puerto Rico.
That's not it. That's not it.
I'm pretty sure that's Mexican.
Do I have to buy chickens? Can I say that?
Yeah, I think that's okay. I think that's roosters. This is a Puerto Rican national anthem.
Are you friggin' kidding me?
And it is basically a
God, it's beautiful.
It's like a Disney princess is coming out of the castle.
It's a majestic theme song, Puerto Rico. I'm sorry I did the chicken thing. Laugh out loud.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
No, I don't want to be entwined with your chicken comments.
Okay.
So, Puerto Rico, as you said, we need to get out of American territory. I guess this is a bit of a gray area.
At least you're putting a little water in between
That's
us.
fair.
I'm good with it.
That's fair. Well, I actually thought of Puerto Rico as its own country for the longest time, like in my 20s, I think. And it's actually a U.S. territory. Not only that, it is not an island. It is an archipelago. I thought it was one big island. It is a grouping of islands.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, neither did I. Very interesting. Ryan, did you know that coconuts aren't originally from the Americas?
I believe that. It's Caribbean type fruit.
They were believed to have been cultivated originally in Southeast Asia.
Get the fuck out of here.
Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, that area. And it was brought over by the Spanish to Puerto Rico. Was the first American area to accept it.
Thank you for everything you've done for us, Christopher Columbus.
And what do you get from coconuts, Ryan? That's right, pina coladas, baby.
Which are terrible.
Well, I mean, they're not terrible, but the pina colada was invented in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, now that I understand, Bacardi is stationed in Puerto Ricano, is it not?
I did not write it down here, but it is the largest rum factory in the world in Puerto Rico.
You like rum, Tyler?
I used to drink only rum, and then as I aged, my taste changed a
That's how
little
you got
bit.
the diabetes,
But
Tyler.
I got the diabetes.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's weird to find out this way. There are only 5 bioluminescent beaches in the world. 3 are in Puerto Rico.
And that's where plankton gives off natural light, right? Like a lightning bug, right?
Absolutely.
Wow,
And
that's beautiful.
If you walk through the water, it lights up around your feet as you touch the water. It's unbelievable. But they are very, as you can imagine, very strict about these beaches over there.
Southern Lights, Tyler.
Sure, Ryan.
Sorry. I just want to talk. It doesn't matter what I say.
And finally, Ryan,
Yeah.
if that all sounds too good to be true, that's because it is. Yes, you get all that amazing stuff I just said. However, it has been known to sometimes rain frogs, Ryan.
I've heard about that. Do they know what the cause of that is?
They do. They do. The coqui frog, which is the national animal in Puerto Rico and is beloved over there, is an arboreal animal, means it lives in trees.
Sure.
It has been known to climb to the tops of the tallest trees, sometimes 100 feet in the air, about 30 meters for our internationals.
Okay.
Tarantulas, a natural predator of theirs, will lie in wait in the trees. When the frog senses danger, it will jump off of the tree, and due to it being so small and light, it floats harmlessly to the ground.
The wind picks it up. Incredible.
Or, instead of hitting on the ground, hits you on the head.
Lands in your mouth. I mean, that would just be terrifying. I would just want to croak.
They get their name from the sound they make. Coqui?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool,
I
right?
love that. I can
Yeah.
meditate to that.
And it's a sound you hear all throughout Puerto Rico.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
Puerto Rico, welcome to the Menendez family.
Love an International Death Day. Love an international hello, Tyler.
International Death Day, those are rare.
Yeah, it takes a lot of manpower, Tyler. That's fantastic. Now, look, we're going long. I'm going to do a quick little segment here, something that you guys all know. And this one I hope is a little obvious, but let's get it out of the way.
Don't kill.
But when you do. All right, guys, really quickly, don't kill. But when you do, is self-explanatory. The people who listen to the show all reach out to us and they all have one problem. They need to murder for various reasons. I try not to get involved in everybody's personal life, but they're saying, Ryan, help me out. Now, look, I don't want you to kill. You know that, Tyler. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, well, there's a difference between you not wanting them to kill and you just not wanting to see it.
Well, definitely don't show me any of that shit. Definitely don't show me any of that shit.
If you send Ryan a photo of a hangnail, he'll lose his mind.
I might bleed one day. But what Tyler and I want to do, we want to give you some information to keep you out of the hooskow, okay? Now, this one is kind of obvious, but it happens all the time.
Okay.
You've planned the murder, you've committed it, you've cleaned it up. Good on you, okay? Great job. Now, here's where a lot of people fuck up. When you're doing the eulogy, because usually murders are committed on people who are close to you, don't let your true feelings shine through, okay? A lot of people get in front of all of their families and they just let her rip, Tyler. It's hard to bottle that up, but you need to stay true to the character.
Wow.
You need to plan your way all the way through. Don't just get the hard part done and then let it loose, Tyler.
Yeah, I would say just don't speak at all if that's a chance for you to let it all out right at the end.
Well, here's the problem, and I'm wondering what you think about this. Very often, you give the histrionics of crying, but real tears aren't coming. What do you do in that situation?
Oh, you're not forced to cry, and not everybody deals with the pain and loss the same way. So it's not an absolute that you have to cry, but you do kind of want to look a little downtrodden.
Absolutely.
If you look like you just won the gold medal at the Olympics, it's to be a little suspicious.
I agree. And now I'm going to give you a little bonus tip. Cut a hole in your pocket while you're at the funeral. Just constantly be pulling your pubes out one by one. You will be crying like a motherfucking baby, Tyler. And that is a little bonus tip for your little bonus dick. And we need to take a break because I'm feeling faint.
Those guys.
On this piece of paper, the world's hardest tongue twister, Tyler.
Oh, wow.
And I would love for you to give it a shot.
You hate.
And I didn't even do my, hold on, I got to do my tongue warm-ups.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's enough tongue warm-ups.
Those guys you hate.
You know, another thing that you and I were talking about this week, Tyler, and I just think it's something that's interesting to discuss on the show, is you feel like we're this mature society that as you get older, things change. It's not like the playground where it's like, hey, I'm going to beat you up if you don't do what I tell you to do.
Well, it's still a lot of that, just in different ways.
Just in different ways.
Yeah. Now, instead of pantsing people in the playground, you just go in, buy out all the stocks, and ruin them.
Yeah. Or you know, you commit the fappening. But
Really hooked on that, huh? You're really hooked
Tyler,
on
I just
that.
can't stop, Tyler. I just can't stop. Now, we were discussing, and I posed the question to you. Why do the police get to make the rules? What is the fundamental reason that the police get to enforce the rules?
Because they're stronger than everybody
They can
else.
beat you up.
Yeah.
The police can beat you up.
Legally allowed to beat you up.
I mean, they're the ones making the rules, Tyler. So much like Prince Charming can't rape
That's true.
because he's the law,
Mhm.
they can do whatever they want. They got a big old billy club, Tyler.
Yeah, they do, and they use it.
All right.
Got to keep them people in line, Ryan.
Give me your White-Boy-Rant, Tyler. I don't know if we want to figure out some sort of way to get to that in a more organic fashion, or we just want to dive right in.
I think I've got something.
Okay.
Ryan!
Yo.
I'm angry.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so angry.
You white people always are.
and I need to rant.
You know what I'm saying is right.
Kind of. I need to rant. Well,
Okay.
While I have privilege for all these years, now that you're making things equal for everybody else, that's not good for me, Ryan.
Well, if you're giving other people privilege, does that mean you're taking away Some of my privilege?
It might be.
Okay. I am freaking out right now, Tyler.
All right, well, since I'm angry, not supposed to laugh while I'm angry.
Yeah.
I'm angry. Look at my angry face.
You sound like a friendly monster, Tyler.
And for some reason, all my segments revolve around food for some reason.
Huh.
But to the people of Chipotle,
Mhm.
learn how to roll a fucking burrito.
Bro,
You cemented-handed plebeians.
Tyler, you ain't even wrong about that.
It's
one, bro.
ridiculous. If I'm paying $30 for a burrito, it should be rolled perfectly.
Now, I think it stands to reason here that I tell everyone I used to work for a burrito store. Get your Spanish jokes out now. And I twist up a mean burrito, Tyler.
you did. You had perfected the art for a little
That's
while.
exactly right. I've even done it on a smaller scale. But nonetheless, those burritos, Chipotle, I've never seen a good burrito roller at Chipotle, Tyler.
I did. They used to have them back in the day when they were first opened, but now they've become so mainstream, they've got a little lax, cutting certain corners.
Yeah.
And apparently it's too much money to have a quick 30-minute burrito rolling class.
There is no corners on a tortilla, Tyler. It's a circle.
Anyway, good point.
No, don't laugh. You're angry.
That's right. For my White-Boy-Rant, people at Chipotle, learn how to roll a burrito. Start with a joint and work your way up.
Don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs.
I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying.
Just roll it and then
Just
throw it away.
And admire your handiwork.
Good on you. All right, Tyler, I freaking dig it.
And
I
that was
friggin' dig it.
White-Boy-Rant,
Yeah,
Ryan.
that's
Give
it.
me a little ding of the bell.
We'll insert the imaging, and that's going to clean up really nice, unlike a Chipotle burrito.
Yeah.
All right, now, Tyler, I want to do a segment that I haven't done in a long time, and this one is going to be very specific to this episode. Are you ready?
Sure.
Yeah. Welcome to the game. Did you die? How you doing, everybody? My name is Cherry Harrington, and this week we're doing School Shooter Edition.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and I would like to welcome on the only contestant we've ever had, Tyler Menendez. How you doing, brother?
For 91 weeks running, baby.
Incredible. Cherry's happy to have you. Now, the way that this show works is we take something that's not funny and we put really ridiculous voices on it, and I give you 3 quote-unquote facts, Tyler.
Mhm.
And one of these 3 facts is not a fact. As a matter of fact, it's made up. So are you ready to play But Did You Die?
I am ready. I am excited. So it is 2 truths and a lie.
That's exactly right.
Awesome. Let's
At the
do
end,
this.
we're going to go back and we're going to review, and hopefully everybody learns a little something.
Mhm.
Let's get ready for fact number 1. Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris committed the Columbine shooting, which killed 13 people and wounded more than 20 on June 6th, 1999, to commemorate D-Day, the largest invasion force of World War II. Now, very quickly, remember, talk through these things. You may know right off the top of your head which one of these is a lie
Yeah,
or what isn't.
no problem.
But just play along because the audience probably won't. So
Now, can you repeat the point of that one? Dylan, they did Columbine as a remembrance of D-Day?
they did it on June 6th to commemorate D-Day.
Weird way to show your patriotism, guys.
What would be the right way to do it, Tyler? It's so easy to look back and just tell people, Captain Hindsight.
Hindsight 2020 over here.
All right, second fact, Tyler. On December 14th, 2012, Adam Lanza killed 20 first graders and 6 school employees before turning the gun on himself in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. But those weren't his first murders. He killed his mother at home earlier that day, Tyler.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know that for a fact. I don't know one way or the other. But honestly, if you're willing to go into an elementary school and murder a bunch of kids, murdering your mom really isn't that far out of line.
What you're saying makes sense to me. Maybe it's the truth, Tyler. And finally, fact number 3. On February 14th, 2018, Nicholas Cruz killed 17 people and wounded 17 others in the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting. He notably, unlike the other 2, did not turn the gun on himself and was arrested. But he was not the only one. Broward Sheriff's Deputy School Resource Officer Scott Peterson was arrested for retreating during the shooting, Tyler. And that is the third fact. Now, so we have the Columbine shooters commemorating D-Day.
Mhm.
We have the Sandy Hook shooter killing his mother, or we have the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas resource officer being arrested for fleeing the scene, Tyler. Which one is not a fact?
Well, I remember when the Stoneman Douglas happened, and I remember a big portion of that story revolving around the resource officer that was there and didn't act, which is, I can't imagine what kind of hell you got to live with after that. Like I and obviously this is genuinely hindsight 2020. I'd rather go in there probably and get hurt than be known forever as the guy who didn't stick up for children in a life-threatening situation.
And it was your job, and you had a gun,
job,
and you ran away. And it's so easy to judge, but the fact of the matter is that's your job, and you signed up for that. But again, you're going to a school. It's almost like writing parking tickets. You're like, I'm going to be fine here. You didn't expect to be on the front line. So,
but that's the job you took.
Exactly
and
right.
there's obviously an opportunity of it. It's like being in the Army Reserves. Like, oh man, fingers crossed that I'm get called up.
Yeah.
But it could happen.
And we all want to be brave, but you never know what you're going to do in that situation. Okay, so you got the first two, Tyler.
So I've got that one. I've got the
commemorating D-Day.
Well, I've got Dylan Park, and then I've got commemorating D-Day.
Right.
Man, I would say that those two guys were such nerds, so to speak, the Columbine kids, that they did do it for the remembrance of D-Day. And if that is true, fuck you guys.
Why? Listen,
don't
don't shoot up a school. But if you want to teach a little history on your way out, again, do not shoot up schools, Haitian Army.
This is a weird gray area we find ourselves in.
50 Shades of Sasha Grey, Tyler.
My favorite book.
Okay, and the second one is that Adam Lanza, the Sandy Hook killer, killed his mom that day.
I'm going to go ahead and say it was, I'm going to say it was number 2. Adam Lanza killed his mom earlier that day.
Number 2, was that right? No, Tyler.
Oh,
Tyler.
Did he not get arrested for not going into the school?
No, Tyler. Let's go ahead and break these down one at a time.
Damn it.
We'll start with the one that you chose.
My God, I could shoot up a room right now.
Okay. Can I please talk to those guys who hate resource officer? Okay. Before arriving at Sandy Hook, Adam Lanza shot and killed his 52-year-old mother at their home. She was the owner of the weapons that he had used. Now, one thing that you hear all the time is that a lot of people say that the Sandy Hook shooting was an inside job, that the government had done that so that they could, much like 9/11, pass all these new gun control laws. Have you heard that before?
I have heard it, and I'm not up to date on gun control laws. How many laws have really been? I mean, everybody's still buying guns. It's really easy to get them. What changes have been made?
Well, Barack Obama, heard of him, called for expanded background checks, which doesn't seem unreasonable to me.
It does not.
If I could be totally honest, I don't know if I'm saying something crazy. For gun buyers, it was blocked by the Senate. So it never even came to fruition. Number 3.
We love our guns, Ryan.
Number 3, about the resource officer at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. Peterson was arrested in June 2019 and faced charges of neglect of a child, culpable negligence, and perjury afterwards. That was the big deal. It was where the shame enveloped him and he lied about it, which is just, I mean, I can't imagine the hell that guy was in, which I don't know if I should even bring up because that sounds kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, it was, I mean, just speaking about him specifically, obviously we're not trying to window shop tragedy.
Of course not.
But just speaking on him, just specifically for conversation point, as I said, I cannot imagine the mental state that man was in after everything that happened.
Or during.
But what I'm saying is because of the decisions that he made, because when you're in the middle of it, it's not your fault that you get caught up in a shooter situation. But the decisions you make during it and the consequences thereafter, I mean, boy, oh boy, that's got to be
such is life. And here's another little fact from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas that I didn't know. As terrified students ran for their lives, Cruz went to the faculty lounge where he set up a bipod, one of those tripods for your gun, and fired like a sniper at fleeing students.
Jesus, man.
Unbelievable. Well, he didn't do it, Tyler. Don't bring him into it.
We need him now more than ever, Ryan.
And finally, the Columbine Shooters, the one that was not true, where I said that they did it on June 6th to commemorate D-Day. That's not true. They did it on April 20th, 1999.
Hitler's birthday.
Hitler's birthday. The two And I hope that I have this information right. I found it in more than one source.
Right.
But you never freaking know with
That's
the
true.
internet.
That's true.
That the two teens wore swastikas on their backpack. And I read a report that said when they got strikes during early morning bowling classes, they would look at each other and do the Nazi salute, the Sig Heil, Tyler. They were two lost children in the middle of Colorado. I imagine a very white place, Tyler.
I'm sorry. Did you say bowling classes?
That's exactly right. Tyler, what is the most racist place in this country? Bowling alleys, Tyler. We all know it.
I would imagine a KKK lodge would be a little bit worse.
Okay, KK. And that is But Did You Die? School Shooter Edition. And we're having fun, but also I would like to think that we're bringing some attention to this and really making people think, how did we end up in this place? What happened here?
Is it? Because I know we love our titles these days, and I know the moment you give an opinion, people love to label you as liberal or conservative, and you are that thing.
It's the way to get us to fight against ourselves.
For sure, absolutely. But I don't think that it is irrational or liberal or conservative to say, hey, these things that can murder multiple people in the span of a millisecond, maybe we should be more careful about who we give them to.
Well, and what's really interesting about that, and I hope I'm not divulging any confidences here, you are a gun owner.
I am.
And that's okay with me saying, of course?
Of course, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I am not a gun owner, and I hope I never am. It's
Mhm.
just not that I think there's anything wrong with them, and I support your right to have them. I just don't think I'm responsible enough.
Sure.
We agree that a background check where people are getting these automatic weapons, you're not going hunting. You're not using that to protect your family. It's just a weapon of mass destruction, literally.
Mhm.
Maybe we could kind of be a little bit more stringent with these motherfuckers.
Well, when I bought my first and only gun, I went, and I obviously will not say any names or store names or anything because
we're looking at you, Walmart.
I knew the guy personally, but I went in for my first gun, bought it with my old roommate who was a cop, and she and I went and bought ourselves a gun. And the guy whom I knew who was selling us the gun, he's like, "Oh man, have you taken your 15 or your 40-minute class or whatever it is,
Sure.
safety class?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, listen here." Basically, as he's pulling this piece of paper out from behind the desk, and he's like, "All right, listen here. Don't point it at yourself, and if you do point it at somebody else, be sure you're ready to pull the trigger." Signs it and hands it to me so I could get my concealment license, and then bought the handgun by putting $450 down on the counter and walking out with it.
Point and click. Am I right?
Yes, Ryan. Yes, you are.
Scary times. Let's do Week in Review.
Ryan, last week you claimed that you are unable, or everyone is unable to use the word 89 on the Chinese internet. And like a true cock tease, you didn't have any follow-up information.
That's the show, baby.
Did I have to find out why?
I'm a little lad who loves berries and cream.
Is that a no?
I was just fascinated by that this week. My son showed me a viral video from a decade ago, and I am late to the party, but damn do I love that fancy lad.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is our no sound for the day. And I know it might be a little hard to tell.
Sorry.
Actually, they don't allow the number 89, and this is how strict they are on the subject. It cannot be anything relating to Tiananmen Square, which happened in 1989.
Oh, is that what it is?
Mhm.
Get the F out of here.
Mhm.
Tyler, last week, I flatly asked the question, Columbus, a rat bastard?
He was known to be.
Berries and cream, berries and cream.
Now, everybody's heard that. We've
Sure.
all talked about that. I'm going to give you 3 details, 3 facts, I guess.
Okay.
I mean,
What are facts?
What are facts? That's a great question because this thing has been whitewashed and handed down all throughout history. So who knows what's right and what's wrong? But okay, here's 3 facts. Columbus kidnapped a Caribbean woman and gave her to a crew member to rape.
Okay, just so I'm clear.
Sure.
You said, is it true that this guy was a rat bastard? And then you hit the no sound?
No, actually, they're different. This is yes.
Berries and cream, berries and cream.
Now here's no.
I'm a little lad who loves berries and cream.
I know it's hard.
It's so confusing.
You got to pay attention. I just wanted to share my love with the berries and cream lad with everyone, and I'm sorry that I jammed it in here.
Instead of rolling it out slowly and having one sound for 2 weeks, let's have them both at the same time.
So, a second fact, a member of Columbus's crew publicly cut off an Indian's ear to shock others into submission.
I see. I could see how that would work.
And finally, 56 years after Columbus's first voyage, only 500 out of 300,000 Indians remained on Hispaniola.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, it was just a true
He was a monster.
genocide.
Yeah.
It really, really, and it's easy to not adjust for the way that things were at different times.
Absolutely.
But when you're just talking about wiping out a whole slew, and I'm calling them Indians because that's what they called them in the article that I read. Hispaniola is a Caribbean island. So I'm just reading to you what I had given to me. Columbus, not a good dude.
Not cool.
Yep.
Ryan, on last week's show, we spoke about racism and that it's more prevalent in other cultures and the older generations, which that second one, you were hesitant to put your name on. Did I look up some information to support my view? Oh, yeah.
Berries and cream, berries and cream.
I think that lends it an air of credibility that you're
Absolutely.
just not going to get anywhere else.
Absolutely. Well, Jim Crow laws began immediately following the Civil War and didn't end until the mid-1960s with the passing of the Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act, and the Fair Housing Act. Admittedly, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed in 1863, so I was a little off on that one of any of our family members being alive during that time.
Pretty close. You're pretty close.
But for those of you who do not know what Jim Crow laws are, it's what, once racism was made illegal after the Civil War, these are the laws that were put in place by slave-owning states to continue to keep minorities downtrodden.
Okay. Yep, that's it. And we're still seeing the ramifications. You and I were talking about elements of this before we turned the microphones on, which I find to be interesting, but I'm afraid to share my opinions. Tyler, last week, I brazenly said that Meriwether Lewis of the Lewis and Clark duo was famously ill. Was I wrong?
No?
I'm a little lad who loves berries and cream.
That's a no. Thank you.
Thank you.
At the time of his death, Lewis's depressive tendencies were compounded by other problems. He was having financial troubles and likely suffered from alcoholism and other illnesses, possibly syphilis or malaria, the latter of which was known to cause bouts of dementia. And with all of that being said, and I think there's something that truly speaks to the fundamentals of this show, he had dementia. He was depressed. It sounds like his dick was falling off. And he went on to do incredible things and will be remembered throughout history. And didn't rape a bunch of people like that nasty old Columbus, Tyler.
I'll say this. I bet you his dick was ready to fall off because of how much he was using it, baby.
Just cranking out the cooch, Tyler.
Yeah. And for my final one, Ryan, we spoke last week in passing about different animals where the dominant male will move in and kill the young and produce their own young. Did I look up the type of animals?
Berries and cream, berries and cream.
I don't even know what's going on anymore.
I don't know.
Are you right? Are you wrong? I don't fucking
You
know.
explained it to me and I still don't get it.
I'm the one who put it together. I don't know what's happening.
Well, actually, when it comes to animals coming into a new pack, into a new pride, into whatever it is, and killing the young of the other male, that is primarily seen in mammals, simply because of the way that we fornicate, give birth, all that stuff.
And it's crazy that when you get rid of the kids in a lot of animal society, it starts up the women's, system.
Absolutely.
To want to generate new youths.
Very much so. But the one thing I will say is that it's infanticide, which is a parent killing its own child, is seen everywhere across the animal kingdom, from birds to insects to mammals to fish.
To humans.
Oh, to humans. All these we're crazy, Ryan.
Yep.
Mother Earth is filled with killers.
Nature, you crazy.
Killers.
I think that guy who that snake actually was not wrong. Now that you put it that way, Tyler.
No.
Now that you put it that way, yeah, that guy's doing God's work with his dick.
And I'm done, Ryan.
Yeah.
That's all we can review.
I'm sorry. I was just kidding. That guy's a bad person. That's We Can Review.
Slither away, snake. Slither away.
Hispaniola, Tyler.
Hispaniola.
Nice. That's it. I mean, motherfucker, just tell these people if they ever had the inkling to reach out to us. I don't know why they would.
Why would you?
How would they do it, Tyler? Let's say some snakes are listening without their ears. what would they do, Tyler?
You just go to THOSEGUYSYOUHATE.com and subscribe on all your screens. Click all the buttons, and we will love you forever.
Join the Haitian Army, baby. And Tyler, great job this week. You did great. We got some big things coming up. You and I have some things in the works where we are, for the first time, instead of just telling people how they could get better, we're about to do something that I think is going to not just make us better, but make a tiny little portion of the world better. And I think that is when the show will come full circle, when we actually do some of the things that we're constantly talking about. More on that coming up.
Absolutely. I like the idea of us doing, I think you nailed it perfectly. Like, I could not improve on the theme at all, which is doing something good for others selfishly for ourselves.
Bad people doing good things, Tyler. I
Well,
freaking
no, we're
love
not
it.
bad people.
Evil, degenerate, bad people doing
No.
good things just to cast off suspicion for the weekend. Tyler, what's the moral of the story, brother?
Ryan, my moral of the story, session 91, which I wrote ahead of time. Look at me being,
Look at you get it.
look at me planning. My moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes. Moral of the story, cry. Damn it. Cry.
Yeah.
Cry. It is something that I am
Hard.
constantly working on every day. If I had one well, that'd be a lie. I'd want to turn invisible or fly. But if I had a natural superpower, it would be to cry on cue. Crying is such a cathartic thing. It is such an undescribably healthy tool in our battle against depression. And I resented or repressed my emotions and my ability to cry for so long that now I genuinely struggle with it, even though I want to.
Yep.
So if you feel the need to cry, if you feel the urge to cry, don't suppress it. Fucking cry, man. Be a man and cry.
Be a man and cry. I dig it.
Ryan, what's the moral of the story?
I think just to put a neat little bow on the package that was the show, where I feel like the theme was school shooters, I think it's time for us all to look around and see what it is that we're ingesting. And I don't mean food. I mean how we're using our brains, how the people who are closest to us, are they reaching out to us? Do they need help?
Are we reaching out to them?
Are we reaching out to them? And I think it's time to put some of that stuff into perspective. How do we heal ourselves as a country, as a world? I don't even like to talk about these things in terms of America, because this is a world problem. It is a human problem. Even though it happens more here, it doesn't mean that people aren't affected by it around the world.
Absolutely.
And we're all in this thing together, man. You could be from Europe, you could be from Africa, you could be from Antarctica, but we're all Haitians here on this show.
Mm-hmm.
We are those guys you hate.
Be kind or we'll kill you.
You know, the best part about the pregame, Tyler, is that it's organic.
I guess so.
Speaking of organic, I actually just bought some organic lube. Some organic. What does organic mean? What does organic? It just means that you're paying $7 more for the product. What does organic mean?
Well, it's supposed to, I believe, mean that it comes directly from the ground. There's no added chemicals to it. It's organic. It's natural. It's pure. But like you said, it's just a bullshit word that people use for marketing.
GMOs, fix my dick. But
You're the one that caused this problem. Now fix it.
Because you know what kind of lube I normally buy, and this is probably
not where I thought we were going to be getting today.
And I don't even have this written down. I got so much that I need to get to, but these are the important things that people come to us for, Tyler.
I'm really glad we made this particular pit stop.
CUM, but I bought this organic lube. I usually use the Astroglide. It's like it's a good one. It's a thick gel. It costs like $3. You can get it at Publix. Cheap as shit.
Yeah.
and twice as good, Tyler.
That's the one that you just got.
right. I've been
Yeah.
using shit as lube for a while. Do not recommend.
Yeah, just not worth all the hepatitis shots you got to get.
So it's hard to get out of the hole too. So I have bought this organic lube and it just leaves a film on your dick when you're done. You got the old zucchini dick, Tyler.
Are you sure that it's the lube? Or are you sure it's
fucking hope so,
Are you sure
Tyler.
it's not all the chemicals mixing together?
Does your penis molt like a snake? Does it scratch the skin off? Because if that is not the case, then it was the lube.
Well, if you're going a marathon style, if you want to be crazy and have sex for much longer than you're supposed to, you go full like 60 seconds, maybe even feel crazy and go 2 minutes.
Hi-yo.
Yeah.
The joke is that he doesn't last very long,
Took
Tyler.
me a while to get there, but I arrived, Ryan.
Unlike sex. Let's try a strange segment.
Okay.
Let's try a segment which we don't usually do on the pregame.
Bartender confession. Oh.
Now, Tyler, I'm going to talk about something that happened at our job that most people won't give a fuck about.
Okay. So like mostly everything that we talk about.
I'm going to see if I can make it palatable, Tyler.
All right.
Last night, while I was working at the bar you and I both work at, I threw out Mike and Sharon. They said that they would never come back. Remember the lady who got upset with you? The older lady who...
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So-
And was Mike just sitting there off to the side, just embarrassed as all hell?
Couldn't have been any nicer.
Oh,
so let me describe
what a
this
sweet, sweet man.
very quickly to the audience. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is, number one, it's something I know you're interested in. And number two, I figured maybe this would help us loosen up. There are these two customers who come in every single day to the bar where Tyler and I work, and the woman seems to be losing it. Do you agree with that part? And I don't mean that to be rude at all.
Well, I was gonna say he doesn't even mean that as a joke.
No,
she is
I don't.
she is a woman who is in her late 70s, in her 80s.
After the abuse that she's put on her body, it's really tough to tell. I don't know how old she is. She
Well,
could be from in her 50s to her 70s.
Regardless, she seems like she's grandmother age.
Oh, sure.
Yes, and like,
She's younger than our parents, though.
is that true?
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
I look at her. Well, anyway, I would say that like what happens to a lot of people, especially if you don't take care of yourself, warning to us, you begin to, as you said, lose it at the end. Your mental faculties aren't what they used to be, and you can't perceive things the way that you normally would.
Like Meriwether Lewis, Tyler. Foreshadowing. But, so she's been building in anger, and the person who receives most of it is not us, the bar staff. It is her husband who had a stroke, I believe.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know if it's a stroke or he's dealing with dementia. Actually, I believe it's not a stroke. He's dealing with onset dementia, and he's breaking down. And she treats him like fucking shit.
Yep.
And she talks bad about him in front of his face, and it's gotten really tough to where I just don't even want to talk to her anymore.
Yeah.
It's just bad vibes. So to make a long story not as long, last night she came in on a Saturday night, which was very
strange.
busy.
Yeah.
And she ordered a rare ribeye, and when it didn't come out in 6 minutes, she believed that we were ignoring her, and she canceled her order. Yeah, exactly the same thing.
Same thing as me.
Exactly the same thing as me. She thought the guy who was next to her ordered food before she did. He had not received his food yet either. So apparently he was on the you train as well. And so she told me she was never coming back. I was filled with adrenaline.
Yes.
And I then calmed down and said, I'm sorry to hear that, but you have been, building in frequency over the last couple weeks. And honestly, I don't understand it. I'm sorry you're not coming back, but maybe it's best for all of us.
Well said.
Yep.
Well said.
And that is a story that's not interesting to anybody. I just thought it might help us loosen up.
And what was their response to your respectful response?
They were respectful back. And I told Mike, I'm sorry that we're not going to see each other anymore. I've really enjoyed getting to know you over these last couple months. I wish you nothing but the best. Shook his hand.
I feel vindicated.
Punched her right in the titty, Tyler.
Oh, boy.
Let's do a happy death day.
That poor titty.
Yeah.
Ryan!
What's up, player?
Happy Death Day, baby. For those of you who do not know, Happy Death Day is when we take somebody who has just left us, who has just died, and instead of mourning that loss, we celebrate the life that was lived, Ryan.
Yay! You lived once. Not now, but before.
I mean, you were at one point.
Yeah, apparently.
So,
We're just kidding. Obviously, we're trying to have a little fun here with life, which can be a bitch, Tyler.
It absolutely can,
Sure.
Ryan. So, Ryan, beloved Tom Moorey has passed away.
No!
Tom Moorey,
No,
Ryan!
you're lying. Who the hell's Tom Moorey, Tyler?
Tom Moorey, you uncultured swine.
Who is Tom Moorey?
Tom Moorey, the inventor of the boogie board, Ryan.
Tell me, Moorey.
Did you even hear what I just said?
I don't care.
Yeah, you just wanted to get to your joke, which was actually pretty good.
Per usual, I just wanted to jam it in there. I love a good boogie board.
Who doesn't?
I love a good boogie board. So it's like surfing, but on your belly. For all you losers in Wyoming who don't know what the ocean is, it's a fun way to live, you jackass.
And with this constant attack on different states, there goes Wyoming.
Have I hit Wyoming yet? Because I feel vindicated.
Well, Tom Moorey, again, inventor of the boogie board. He was born August 13th, 1935. Good long life. He has passed away this week at the age of 86. And while he was born in Detroit, which is ostensibly as far away from the ocean as you can get.
Yeah. You're right.
He moved to Cali when he was 9 years old, invented the boogie board in 1971 because he fell in love with surfing and with jazz from a very young age.
But wait a minute. He did not invent the boogie board until he was in his 40s? Am
yeah.
I doing that right?
Yeah. He was an adult when he came up with it.
Good on you, brother.
Absolutely. And he was an engineer and brought that to the surfing scene.
Oh, wow.
And even it was supposed to be called the bodyboard, but because of his love of jazz, he named it the boogie board.
Now, how many engineering degrees do you need to realize that styrofoam floats? Because you know what, Tom Moorey? You're losing me here, brother.
Well, he was the first one to figure it out.
I mean, okay. Is that an invention or you just fucking drop some trash in the water and you're like, I'm going to be a millionaire? You know what, Tom Moorey? You're kind of pissing me off, bro. What's going on with you?
You're sending me through a roller coaster of emotions. So
Yeah, you're right.
I'll just say on that note, Mr. Moorey, happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day, Mr. Moorey. I was just playing around with you. We appreciate your contributions to society.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you, Tyler. Do you prefer a boogie board or a skimboard, Tyler?
Are you kidding me? Give me boogie board all day long.
Really?
Skimboards are hard pieces of wood. You know,
Sure.
easily I could hurt myself by not being very athletic on one of those things.
Love a friggin' skimboard. Boogie board. I don't think I've ever successfully boogie boarded. It just seems to me like a lazy person surfing, Tyler.
That's it. It is the lazy Susan of surfing.
There you go. What goes around comes around, Tyler. I like that. Okay, and finally, like I've been saying, we don't do segments here on the pregame. It's a little bit more freeform, but we've now done 2 segments. And I want to start another one, okay? We vaguely talked about this off air, and what I want is whenever I send you something via email or I airdrop you something for the show, it's usually terrible. It's usually something you're not going to want to see. It's usually something that fills you with foreboding. So what I was wondering, much like Pavlov's bitch of a dog, I thought that maybe I could bring a little mystery sound into this. I don't have it ready yet, but then I play it and the sense of foreboding just sweeps over you. I could see it in my mind's eye and it could be very funny.
Wonderful.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, hilarious. It's just
Now,
you saying a sense of foreboding is always a positive thing in my life.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
What is our relationship other than just a, 30-year-long sense of foreboding, Tyler?
Well said.
Yes, life vests are foreboding, Tyler. So here's the idea. I have sent you an email of something that I'm very excited about that I want for you to check out on air. We will go from there and,
Would you like me to begin to pull it up right now?
please,
Okay,
please
all
unzip
right.
it and pull it out.
I want everybody to know that I have fully accepted the fact that I am now on some list because of the stuff that Ryan has sent through my email. Like I have been flagged for receiving heinous shit. Now I'm sure half of our listeners are the FBI and law enforcement.
That's exactly right. And our numbers are going through the roof, which is worrisome in this context, Tyler.
They needed backup.
All right, now go ahead and just read through that email, okay? And I just need your general sense of just understanding, and then we're gonna get down to what this means for the show, okay?
It's really great how it, even when it pops up, there's a big yellow caution ad on there saying, "Hey, this might be phishing." Google, you do not know how right you are.
All right, now read it out loud.
Your order is, you got a fleshlight.
Yes, baby. I didn't do it. I did it for the show.
Dylan Harper. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was deeply recommended. Wait, let me rephrase that. It was recommended to me by the authority on these matters. But please continue.
Drucifer.
That's right. I'm actually not familiar with Dylan Harper, but this one was recommended to me. I looked up Sasha Grey, but she does not work with Fleshlight. So I know, really disappointing.
They really blossomed, I guess would be the proper word.
Like Georgia O'Keeffe.
After she retired.
Yes,
So,
that is true.
I would imagine she's moved on from all that.
It's a bummer because I wanted to call the show 50 Shades of Sasha Grey, but it's going to be tough to jam in there now. Go on.
Okay. Did you?
What is it, Tyler? Spit it out.
Are you having this delivered to moms?
I am having it delivered to moms, Tyler. I'm having it delivered to moms because I'm worried that nobody's going to be here to be able to accept my package, as it were.
So you thought it would be a better idea to let mom accept your package?
Well, okay. I don't like the way that you phrase that.
I don't like the way that you're doing it.
All right. You know what? Let's see. Maybe I this up.
This is traumatizing.
Let's see if I've made some mistakes here. Okay, hold on one second.
Hey, brother.
Hey, what's going on, Drucifer? How are you doing, man? You're on the air with me and my brother Tyler. How are you doing today, man?
Oh, Tyler, how are you, my brother?
I'm good, man. Impromptu session. I didn't even realize this was going to happen.
Well, this is the deal because we've gotten so deep into this thing, if you'll forgive the nomenclature, that I thought we should go to an actual expert here. And I had some follow-up questions so I can be ready for this. Tyler can be ready for this. My package is en route.
May I ask, and Drucifer, can you just answer this one question? Are you complimented by being called the go-to on knowledge of pocket pussies?
I didn't expect it, but I'm not perturbed by it.
That's it. I mean, dude, you sometimes you have a calling.
Area.
You don't get to choose that calling. You just have to answer the bell. So let me ask you this, okay? You have 3 different models, if I'm correct. What is the difference in the models? Why did you recommend this particular one? Why don't you just heat a banana peel up in a microwave like an adult?
Because they don't hold together well enough.
I see. Okay,
Wow.
that's actually
same thing with the eggplants; they just break. You know. So,
In a joke that you have made 1 billion times before, Drucifer is the first person I have ever heard come back to you with logic.
And I'm trying to come up with a reproduce joke, and I got nothing. But what is the difference in the models? That's what I want to know. This one you stand behind firmly.
yeah. So it's actually 3 different brands, which I didn't even realize until yesterday when I was going through the models. So
I appreciate you putting in time for the show.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Well, hopefully it helps someone else.
Yes.
They're fun. So let's see. The actual fleshlight, like the legit brand fleshlight, they're so far my favorite ones. They all tend to have like a different feeling on the inside, but mostly it's the casing that has everything to do with it.
Okay.
Not the actual part you insert yourself into. They all feel great on the inside, and that's kind of a given.
Okay. Tyler's looking more and more jealous as you talk, but please continue.
It's okay. Well, we'll get you one too, Tyler. I know you.
Well,
Don't even try to pretend. Don't. Maybe Ryan will share his when he's done.
I will.
Well,
and Tyler, there are ones. He actually sent me one last night that has balls on it. So I don't know if that does anything for you, but we could talk about that later.
No.
I just think about how hard it's going to slap your balls when you really start getting into it. Like that.
I almost ordered that one.
You got to be careful about the ball-on-ball violence.
Absolutely.
So Drucifer, I got to ask, how do you store these? Where are they? Are they like lined up next to each other in a closet? So when you open up, lights turn on and they are displayed like a shrine,
like the Bat Cave,
or do you hide them away in shame, like I would do?
Yeah.
Well, I live alone, and I pretty much know when there's going to be someone coming over my house or not.
So they're just hanging from the lampshades. They're just all over the place. Stuck
no,
to
they're actually usually hanging in my dish rack, to be honest.
I was going to ask you about the cleaning procedure. That was my final question. Like, are they dishwasher safe?
Not dishwasher safe, but they do. You can get cleaning kits for them. I do recommend that, but regular dish soap works just fine.
Now, do I put the dish soap on my dick and fuck it again?
I wouldn't recommend that.
Okay.
Have you never used your penis
really
before?
sensitive material.
What I'm wondering is maybe I should, when I've received this, maybe I should just have you over. Maybe you could come stay over or whatever and just like a spotter at the gym kind of help me work through this thing, literally.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, cool.
This is
Cool.
I'm right now just staring into the abyss, wondering how my life has turned out this
Adventures in Babysitting Part 2. Ryan gets a fleshlight. Well, Jucifer, I appreciate you being a resource here. I believe there's going to be some follow-ups on this whole thing, and I'm really looking forward to forging forth, the two of us connecting on this one thing.
Well, I showed you my initial designs for the three-way fleshlight.
Absolutely.
So I'm hoping we can really entice Tyler to come in on this as well and really, really unite us as brothers.
Is the Chinese finger trap, is that offensive to say? Has that been canceled? Because I think we have an angle there.
Yeah, it's not offensive to me, man. It's just all love.
I'm pretty sure a Chinese finger trap is taken, but if you call it the Chinese dick trap, you'll be good.
And then the tagline will be, you just can't walk away.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's pretty good.
I like it. I like it. All right, Jucifer. Well, I appreciate you being part of this essential need for the Haitian army. So we'll follow back up with you.
Awesome. I appreciate you guys, and I wish you all the luck and joy that the new toy brings you, brother.
You know, we'll stay in touch, literally.
I love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy. Bye. So,
what did I just do?
what just happened, bro?
What did I blacked out. Where am I?
I was upstairs with Nicole today, and I'm ordering this thing, and it's funny you say that because I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? Like, what is going on? This is getting out of control.
I'm sure there's a certain level of excitement between you two, bringing a new little device into play.
She is feeling. She was like, "This is weird," and I'm like, "It's not for me, baby. It's for Ryan Menendez. You don't understand." And now I don't know, much like the Fleshlight, where Ryan Menendez starts and I stop. I just don't know. It's blurry.
That's the idea. They're the same guy.
I'm like sexual Serpico. I'm too deep. Let's do the show.